Distributive property and combining like terms. Distributive property. You must take all numbers and variables out of parentheses through the process of distributing. Cold hard facts. When a number sits next to parentheses with no sign between the two of them, you have a multiplication problem. For example, 4 times the quantity 2x plus 3. There is an invisible multiplication sign right there, connecting these two sets of numbers, 4 and the set of 2x plus 3. 2. You must multiply all numbers and variables inside the parentheses by the outside number. So now I would take 4 times 2x and 4 times 3. By drawing arrows as in step number 3, it reminds me how many numbers or variables I will be multiplying. 4 times 2x is 8x, 4 times 3 is 12, and I connect them with what was connecting them in the original parenthesis. So let's do some practice. I have the equation 4 times the quantity 5y plus 2z. I'll draw arrows to let me know I have 2 sets of multiplication problems to finish. 4 times 5y is 20y. 4 times 2z is 8z. And I'll combine it with my addition sign, like it was in the original parenthesis. Number 2, you'll see I have a decimal problem, but it's still the same process. 1.4 times the quantity, x minus 3.8. I'll draw an arrow to the x, I'll draw an arrow to the 3.8. So 1.4 times x is 1.4x. 1.4 times 3.8 is 5.32, and I will connect them with the original subtraction sign. On number 3, we're back to whole numbers. 20 times the quantity 5x plus 3. I'll draw an arrow from 20 to 5x. I'll draw an arrow from 20 to 3. That arrow always tells me to multiply. So 20 times 5x is 100x, and 20 times 3 is 60. I'll again connect them with my addition sign. Number 4. Here we have a fraction. We've done whole numbers, decimals, and now we'll do a fraction. Again, a number sitting next to parentheses is really a multiplication problem. 3/7 times x, 3/7 times 3. And remember, you can always use your calculator on these, so don't let those fractions scare you. 3/7 times x is 3/7 x, and 3/7 times 3 is 1 2/7. I'll again connect it with my addition sign. So there's 4 lovely examples. I want you to go to the next page and try these on your own. These are just equations. You do not have to solve, and then you'll pause, finish this page, and then continue to see if you were right. Go ahead and pause. All right, here they are. Remember, you did not have to solve the equation. We were just distributing out the facts from inside of the parentheses. 5 times w, 5w, 5 times 7, 35, connected with the subtraction sign, and my negative 75 came straight down. Over here, 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times 4 is 12. I connected it with my addition sign and brought down my 44. 8 times W is 8W. 8 times 7 is 56. I connected it with my addition sign and brought down my equals 71. And finally, 6 times W was 6W. 6 times 4 is 24. I brought down my plus sign and my equals 76. I hope you did a good job on that. Let's look at combining like terms. The purpose of combining like terms is to unclutter the equation. In a simplified form, the equation is much easier to solve, and here's the good part, takes fewer steps to achieve this end. Cold hard facts. 1. Think of the numbers and variables as different families. The good thing to remember is y, of course, is different than the variable x. But an important thing to remember also is y is different from y squared. That's like the Roberts living with the Roberts sons, not the same family. And fourthly, numbers without variables will always go together, whether they are whole numbers, fractions, or decimals. So numbers will always combine with numbers. No different variables, but numbers will always go with numbers. So let's look at some examples. We want to always carry the sign in front of us. So when you find like terms as in 12n and 3n, you make sure that if there's a sign in front, he carries his sign. 12 has no sign, so we know it's positive. But this is now a negative 3n. So you would put into your calculator 12 minus 3, and that would get you 9 n's. You did nothing with this negative 7, so it comes down as minus 7. Let's look at the one over here. X plus 6 plus 2x. Well, let's unclutter this. We've got x's all over the place, and we want to connect them. X plus 2. Well, how many's here? If you have an x, you have to have some. We in the old math land are lazy sometimes, and we don't always put everything down. We just decided that there's an invisible 1 here. So really in your calculator you'd put 1 plus 2. And that of course would be 3x, and bring down my 6 that I didn't do anything to. Now in this equation, negative 2b plus 7 minus 3b, our family of b's need to get together. I connected my negative. I'm connecting the subtraction sign, which shows me that this too is a negative. In your calculator, you will have to put negative 2 minus 3. Negative 2 minus 3. And of course, that gives you negative 5b's, and I bring down my plus 7. And lastly, we have 9m plus 10 minus 14m. Let's find our families. We have the m family here. And you're in the upper grades now, so you can go ahead and end up with negative numbers when you subtract. 9 minus 14 is actually going to give us negative 5m's, and that's okay. We know integers. And then we bring down our plus 10. So let's try the next page. The first one's pretty tricky. I want to do that one with you, and then I'm going to set you loose on your own. Again, these are combining like terms and equations, but you do not have to solve. I just want you to concentrate on combining like terms. This first one here, I was kind of mean and gave you distribution too to see if you remember what was going on, but let's walk through this one together. You have 4 minus 2 times the quantity, v minus 6, equals -8. So I saw those parentheses, and that let me know I'm drawing some arrows. So now it's 4 minus 2 times v is 2v. Watch, this is a tricky one. -2 times -6. See how this is a negative. See how -2 times v got us -2v here. So now -2 times -6 actually shows on your calculator as a positive 12, because a negative times a negative is a positive. And then we just bring down our -8. Well, we've done some distributing, but we have not combined our like terms. So we have number, variable v, and number. I'm not going to mess with this guy. He's after the equal sign. So let's combine 4 with a positive 12. In your calculator, 4 plus 12 will get you 16. Bring down that -2v, and that is going to equal -8. So you go ahead and pause and try these last three, and then you can check yourself. Pause now. And here's our answers. This is the one we did together. So let's go over here to this one. I found the K family with the K family. So in my calculator, I put 4 plus 3. There's my 7 Ks, bringing down my -14 and my equals 21. On this one, I found my X family, -31x plus 3 x's gives me 28x, bringing down my -18 or -18 equals 38. And lastly, 8y's combining with 7y's, but I'm going to combine with a subtraction sign. 8 minus 7 gives me 1. Now I can put that 1 there, but in math land we really don't put that all the time. Just a y by itself is usually what we'll put. Bring down my plus 43, and that also brings down my equals, -15. So that was distributing and combining like terms review for you. The end.